This is Bird Person, Rick's best friend and soulmate.
Oh, there's an emergency, all right. Emergency? When's the last time you got laid, Purrs?
It has been a challenging mating season for Bird Person.
And this is Squanchy, the wild warrior with absolute loyalty, ready to sacrifice everything to protect Rick in moments of life and death.
I want a taste of my squanch!
And finally, there are those characters who, though they appear rarely, without fanfare or showiness, have earned the absolute trust of someone as skeptical as Rick. Now, let's dive in and explore the rare exceptions that make someone like Rick Sanchez willing to lower his guard and place his absolute trust in them. The first character on this list is none other than Bird Person. If Rick is a wild storm wreaking havoc on everything in his path, then Bird Person is the one calm harbor that this genius truly respects. They're not just friends, they're brothers in arms in the truest sense. From the fiery days of youth rocking out in the band The Flesh Curtains alongside Squanchy, to the bloody battles at Blood Ridge against the Galactic Federation, Bird Person has been there witnessing every dark corner of Rick's life.
It was extremly badass. The Battle of Blood Ridge is over. The Federation lost. I am in your debt.
He's the only one patient enough to decode the catchphrase
Wubba lubba dub dub means
as not just some meaningless joke, but a desperate cry for help from a shattered soul.
it's not nonsense at all. In my people's tongue, it means, I am in great pain. Please help me.
But the life of a warrior is never a happy one. Bird Person's wedding to Tammy seemed like the start of a new chapter, but it turned into a brutal script of betrayal. Amidst the music and well wishes, Tammy revealed herself as an undercover agent, opening fire and taking down Bird Person right in front of Rick. The image of Rick, stunned and watching his closest friend fall, is the moment we see the fearless man truly break down. The pain didn't just stop there. The Alliance resurrected him in the form of Phoenix Person, a soulless killing machine brainwashed to destroy his old friend.
Bird Person?
It is now Phoenix Person.
In that earth-shattering battle, Phoenix Person came dangerously close to finishing off Rick and mockingly called him a bad friend. It was a bitter truth Rick was forced to accept. His selfishness had driven the people he cared about into misery.
Step back! You're not killing him till we kick his ass, Bird Person.
It took Rick a long time to break into the shattered consciousness of his friend to bring Bird Person back, but salvation always comes with a price. Bird Person was resurrected not to thank Rick, but to face the truth that Rick had hidden the existence of his daughter, just to keep him around.
Was there really a second in there where you knew about my child but chose not to inform me on the chance I might then grow too busy child rearing to hang out?
Bird Person is no longer the unconditionally loyal soldier he once was. He's now a father struggling with a teenage daughter, carrying the scars of betrayal and the disappointment in his best friend. Even so, after all those times of life and death, when he was shot dead and turned into a robot devoid of human emotions, Bird Person remains the sole emotional anchor for Rick Sanchez.
I am Phoenix Person.
Among billions of versions of Rick across the multiverse, there is only one Bird Person who truly understands. Rick Sanchez may be the lord of science, but in the game of friendship, he's just an amateur riddled with flaws.
Bird Person went home to take on a challenge way more difficult than a predator, raising bird daughter.
The second person to earn Rick's absolute trust is Squanchy. If Bird Person is Rick Sanchez's quiet soulmate, then Squanchy is the perfect opposite. Loud, chaotic, party addicted, and living like there's no tomorrow.
Hey, Squanchers! The party's squanching on in my place!
Cool, I'm coming too.
The first time we met Squanchy, he didn't exactly leave the best impression. Morty caught him in the garage engaging in a highly sensitive act involving a rope, something he referred to with the mysterious, multi-meaning word squanching. In Squanchy's world, the word squanch can mean just about anything. A verb, a noun, or even a state of mind.
So you know when you're squanching and she just gets real in there, you know, that real nasty squanch.
But don't let his scruffy appearance and bizarre habits fool you. Behind that small cat-like figure, always clutching a bottle of booze, lies a true warrior. Someone who stood shoulder to shoulder with Rick and Bird Person during the rough and wild days of rebellion against the Galactic Federation.
Taste of my squanch!
The relationship between them wasn't just about all-night partying. They were the pieces of the rock band The Flesh Curtains, where Squanchy kept the beat for rebellious souls. But the moment that truly defined Squanchy's loyalty was at Bird Person's blood wedding. When Tammy revealed herself as an agent and the Gromflamite forces swarmed in, amidst the rubble and corpses, Squanchy didn't hesitate for a second. He looked at Rick and yelled,
Get your family out of here! I got this!
Right after that, Squanchy bit down on a fake tooth containing a mysterious green liquid, transforming into a gigantic monster with terrifying teeth to hold off the Galactic Federation, giving Rick a chance to escape. That was the moment we understood why Rick trusted this cat so much. Squanchy was willing to sacrifice his life, ready to face an entire empire just to give his friend a few fleeting seconds to escape.
Come on, this way!
There's a small but heartbreaking detail. Before the battle, Squanchy quietly removed the friendship bracelet engraved with Rick's BFF after hearing Rick call Bird Person the only friend he truly cared about. Despite feeling a bit hurt by Rick's favoritism, Squanchy still chose to protect Rick until his very last breath. Fortunately, Squanchy survived.
Rick, you son of a squanch!
Squanch! Told you he wasn't dead.
We squanchin'?
A little.
Though he later spiraled into a cycle of booze, rehab, and eventually got busted for smuggling. To Rick Sanchez, Squanchy will always be a true brother. In a universe where everything can be replaced by a copy, the booze-soaked loyalty and squanch-filled antics of this orange cat are the one thing that never loses its essence. If you need someone to wreak havoc across the multiverse, call Rick. But if you need someone willing to die for you, look no further than Squanchy.
Squanchy checked himself into a nice rehab. No one thought it would stick, and it didn't. He was later arrested for smuggling toad venom across the border.
The third character to be named is Mr. Poopy Butthole. While Squanchy embodies wild loyalty, Mr. Poopy Butthole is something entirely different. He represents a pure trust that Rick is always believing in him. If you're a hardcore fan of Rick and Morty, you can possibly not know about the tiny yellow creature with a sausage-shaped head, a black bowler hat, and a high-pitched, super excited voice. But don't let that cartoonish, kid-friendly appearance fool you. Mr. Poopy Butthole isn't just a longtime close friend of the Smith family, but also one of the rare characters in the multiverse with the ability to break the fourth wall and talk directly to us.
I got a large pepperoni and some crazy sticks.
Hey, what'd you think of that finale, huh? You think the Smith family's gonna be okay?
The trust that Rick places in Mr. Poopy Butthole reaches a whole different level. Recall the episode Total Recall, when the entire family was attacked by parasites, creatures that could only implant beautiful memories into their host's mind. While everyone was frantically eliminating the imposters, Beth shot Mr. Poopy Butthole in the chest simply because she didn't have any bad memories of him, and that was the tragedy.
I need an ambulance. There's been a shooting. My wife shot my wife shot a longtime family friend.
Mr. Poopy Butthole was the only entity in that house genuinely so good that no one could possibly hate him. He wasn't a parasite, he was just an unbelievably perfect friend. In the world of Rick Sanchez, trust often comes with horrifying troubles. Rick trusted Poopy Butthole's ability so much that he was willing to wreck his life to achieve his own goals. To drag him into a heist, Rick orchestrated a scenario that cost him his job as a university professor specializing in African American women's studies, a position where he had a peaceful life and was respected by his students.
Told you, Morty. He's still got it.
You sons of bitches! What's the job?
Since then, we've witnessed a heartbreaking downfall. From being a star who always brought laughter, Poopy Butthole spiraled into depression, painkiller addiction, and alcohol abuse after his wife divorced him. The image of him sitting alone in a shabby apartment, sharing his heartbreak at the end of the seasons, has become a symbol of sorrow in Rick and Morty. However, the peak of the transformation comes when we see Poopy Butthole start to turn into Rick. He's no longer the naive guy always saying, "Oh, wee!" At the end of season 7, he steals Rick's portal gun, travels to another dimension, eliminates his own happy variant, and takes his place alongside his wife and kids. This act proves that, after years of being around Rick, he's learned how to be ruthless and selfish to claim happiness for himself.
Not me! Not me!
It's not an expression!
Amy's coming back, dead or alive!
Rick Sanchez trusts Mr. Poopy Butthole because he is one of the rare individuals who can endure the craziness of the Smith family without losing his essence, until things go too far. He's not just a friend, he's a mirror reflecting this truth. Even the purest souls, if they stay around Rick for too long, will inevitably be tainted by this multiverse.
Got a lot of work to do, but I'll land on my poopy little feet. I always do.
The fourth character whom Rick entrusts completely is none other than Unity. Among the very few people Rick Sanchez genuinely places emotional trust in, Unity holds an entirely unique position.
I mean, you can hang out if you want. Come see the kids. I trust you now.
Unity isn't an individual, but rather a concept, a hive mind capable of assimilating billions of beings into a single unified will. To Rick, Unity isn't just an old flame. It's the only entity vast enough, complex enough, and just the right amount of crazy to fill the eternal void of loneliness that plagues the genius. The relationship between Rick and Unity is the perfect definition of toxic but addictive. Remember the time they reunited on the planet of the Nepalians? While Morty and Summer were horrified by the idea of an entire planet being stripped of its freedom, Rick saw it as a paradise where he and Unity could dive headfirst into endless debauchery.
Oh yeah! I want you!
They snorted fractal dust together, indulged in bizarre requests, and turned an entire civilization into puppets serving their fleeting euphoria.
You see that town across the river? Watch this.
Whoa!
Hey! Right here! We're fine!
Rick trusted Unity so much that he was willing to abandon his family, ready to let himself melt into the presence of a collective god. However, the tragedy lies in the fact that Unity is the only one who truly understands Rick. Unity knows that Rick cannot be changed, and he is essentially a kind of virus capable of corrupting everything he touches without even needing the ability to assimilate. The farewell letters left scattered across the planet's surface are the most solid proof of shattered trust. Unity loves Rick, but Unity fears Rick. Unity's departure pushed Rick into one of the darkest moments of the series, a failed suicide attempt in the garage where he collapsed next to a pitiful creature turned to stone. It was the first time viewers saw Rick truly fall apart because of a friend. Rick's trust is once again put to the test in Season 7, when Unity invades Virginia out of concern for Rick, who is obsessively hunting Rick Prime. Even though Rick tries to act indifferent, ignoring a slew of voicemails, deep down he knows Unity is the only one who genuinely cares whether he's alive or dead in this endless revenge crusade.
Calm down! We came because we're worried about you!
Rick trusts Unity because Unity sees through the emotional barriers and emptiness that Rick always tries to hide. However, in the end, the trust between these two gods ends in disappointment when Rick ruins their last chance to reconcile. In the universe of Rick and Morty, trust is probably the most luxurious commodity. And with Unity, Rick has proven that even when he finds someone who truly understands him, he'll still find a way to push them away to protect his lonely ego.
I trust you now.
That's nice, but I don't trust you.
Fair enough.
The fifth character on the list of people Rick trusts the most is named Dr. Xenon Bloom. In the short list of individuals Rick Sanchez respects and trusts, Dr. Xenon Bloom holds an incredibly special place.
I'm Dr. Xenon Bloom.
Not a human, Bloom is a wise amoeba microorganism who co-founded the Anatomy Park amusement park with Rick, nestled entirely within the body of a homeless guy. Why did Rick trust this guy? Simply because Bloom was one of the very few entities in the multiverse that Rick genuinely respected for their intellect. They were crazy partners, sharing the same wild vision of turning internal organs into thrilling amusement rides. When the park collapsed and the bacteria rose up, Dr. Bloom didn't choose to run away. He sacrificed himself to operate the bone train, helping Morty escape death before he was ultimately devoured by E. coli bacteria.
Wait! Okay, never mind! I wanted to sacrifice myself anyway!
Bloom's death was far from meaningless. Rick cherished this relationship so much that he hung a picture of him on his bedroom wall, a privilege even the Smith family members could hardly attain. To Rick, Xenon Bloom wasn't just a business partner. He was a big brain in a microscopic form, someone who proved that in Rick Sanchez's world, wisdom and bravery always deserves absolute trust.
Too bad about Dr. Bloom. He was a genius. The only man capable of creating a new anatomy park.
The sixth character whom Rick places his full trust in is none other than Krombopulos Michael. Among the list of partners that Rick Sanchez handpicks with utmost care, Krombopulos Michael is indispensable. The Gromflemite assassin with a life philosophy so chillingly simple. No ethics, no hesitation, no philosophy. Just contracts and death, and Rick respects that.
Code of ethics, I will kill anyone, anywhere. Children, animals, old people, doesn't matter. I just love killing.
Rick not only considered Michael his most loyal customer, but also held a rare respect for his skills. In Rick's eyes, Michael was the epitome of pure professionalism. No hypocrisy, no judgment, and absolutely fair play. When Rick needed money to blow at the Blips and Chits arcade, he didn't hesitate to sell Michael the antimatter gun, the ultimate weapon capable of wiping out even gaseous life forms. Rick trusted Michael so much that he asserted if he wanted someone dead, there'd be no way to stop it.
If Krombopulos Michael wants someone dead, there's not a lot anyone can do to stop him. That's why he does it for a living.
Contrary to his butcher-like job, Michael was incredibly polite, friendly, and even had his own business card with the hashtag #KMichaelKills. Ironically, this infamous assassin met a ridiculously anticlimactic end when Morty ran him over with a spaceship, squashing him flat. To Rick, Michael's death was a waste of professional talent and a reminder that trust doesn't always go to the good guys, but to those who are relentlessly professional at what they do. Krombopulos Michael embodied that truth. Simple, ruthless, and so reliable it could kill you.
Oh boy, here I go killing again.
The seventh character whom Rick places his trust in, transforming from an enemy to a friend, is Jaguar. Among the list of influential figures that Rick Sanchez trusts, Jaguar holds a unique position. Not an old friend, not a scientific ally, but a warrior recognized by Rick after just one life or death battle.
I never bullshit, Pickle Man. This can only end with one of us dead, and I have never died.
Appearing in the legendary episode Pickle Rick, Jaguar was initially introduced as the ultimate weapon to take down Pickle Rick.
Where is this pickle?
A rogue warrior held captive, willing to do anything to save his daughter. However, amidst the hail of bullets and deadly traps, Rick and Jaguar found an unexpected common ground. They were both fathers ready to turn the world upside down for their daughters. Upon discovering that his daughter was actually dead and that he was merely a pawn being manipulated, Jaguar teamed up with Rick to unleash a fiery massacre, blowing up the helicopter of the tyrannical director.
Farewell, Solenia.
What makes Jaguar earn a spot on this trustworthy list isn't just his top-notch combat skills, but his completely unexpected appearance at the end of the episode. When Rick and Morty were on the brink of death on Concordo's piano keys, Jaguar emerged from the shadows, took out the enemy, and disappeared with just a nod. No payment, no promises. Jaguar saved Rick simply because he respected that crazy pickle guy. For Rick, Jaguar is proof that trust doesn't need to be built through sappy heart-to-hearts, but is forged with gunpowder, brutally honest truths, and the scars of a survivor.
I never bullshit, Pickle Man. This can only end with one of us dead.
The eighth character on the list of people Rick Sanchez trusts is Andre Curtis, the President of the United States, an extremely unique and deeply contradictory case. If Bird Person represents a soulmate-like friendship, then Curtis is more of an ally born out of mutual disdain. It's a relationship that's both a bitter rivalry and a dynamic where he's the only one on Earth capable of matching Rick in a power struggle.
Submit for the selfie.
I yield. Take the selfie.
Andre Curtis is not a scientific genius, but he has something that Rick both despises and is oddly drawn to. A massive ego and absolute political power.
Yeah, thanks for lunch.
Fine. If you get rid of the dinosaurs, you can host the Oscars.
Yes!
Their relationship began with Get Swifty, when Curtis was the only one crazy enough to bet the fate of Earth on one of Rick's songs.
Seasons of Planet Music, the Krombopulos have decided to declare Earth the final winner.
Yeah, we did it! Let's get a music album now!
From there, they fell into a bizarre cycle. One day, they might be beating each other senseless in Kennedy's sex tunnels, or chasing each other around the White House with laser guns over a selfie, but the next day, they could be turning into turkeys together to fight over a presidential pardon.
Mr. President.
Sanchez admitted. You lose. Say it and I'll let your loser ass go.
Why did Rick trust this guy? In reality, Rick didn't believe in Curtis's morals. He trusted the man's predictability and calculative nature. Rick knew Curtis would always do whatever it took for voter approval and his own arrogance.
Is nothing short of literally a 100% approval rating is going to save Curtis in the next election.
This trust reached an even more terrifying level in the episode Air Force Wong. When both were rejected and abandoned by Unity, Rick's ex-lover, we witnessed an unprecedented moment. Rick Sanchez and Andre Curtis sitting together in the White House, drinking beer and sharing the loneliness of those who stand at the top but have hollow souls. Curtis is one of the rare people Rick can call on for help, even though he's always cursing him out when dealing with bureaucratic headaches or needing a counterbalance for his planet-sized schemes. Even though Curtis once got burned badly by Rick under the alias Fly Fishing Rick, he's still the first person Rick turns to when he needs a partner to clean up the disaster he's caused.
I'm Fly Fishing Rick. You can distinguish me from the Rick that you had a falling out with by my fly fishing enthusiasm and accompanying hat.
Andre Curtis is not just a president. He's a mirror reflecting Rick's own loneliness. They trust each other because they understand that, in a chaotic multiverse, finding someone who's just as crazy and just as petty to balance you out is an incredible rare thing. Curtis is the reason Rick still holds onto a shred of connection to the order of the human world, even if that order is just a president trying to work through therapy after almost turning the entire United States into a collective consciousness.
Don't take this the wrong way, but I think I might need therapy.
Forget Bird Person or Squanchy, because on the list of people Rick Sanchez is willing to bet his life on, the last name is the most unexpected of all. It's none other than Cisco. Cisco isn't a superhero or a galactic warrior. He's just an ordinary glomflamite bug working at the Department of Transportation. But Rick firmly insists that the trust he places in Cisco is on par with the legendary Bird Person.
I trust plenty of people.
Name two.
Easy, Bird Person, and Cisco.
A crazy comparison that would make anyone raise an eyebrow. Rick trusts Cisco so much that he rejects all backup plans for the mission to infiltrate Gromflum Prime, betting the entire Spore Bomb disarming operation on this bug guy. And then Rick had to take a massive cold shower of reality. There was no hero script here at all. Cisco didn't show up, he wasn't captured, nor did he betray anyone. The reason was laughably simple. Cisco was stuck in a haze of hallucinations caused by an overdose of stimulants. While Rick and Spacebeth were getting their asses handed to them, nearly turned into cannon fodder amidst the ruins of Gromflum Prime, the savior Rick trusted the most was lying high as a kite next to his girlfriend Sandy. Cisco is the most striking proof of Rick Sanchez's knack for choosing friends that are downright disastrous. Sometimes the trust of the universe's most solitary genius isn't placed in powerful entities, but instead he bets it all on some drugged out, messed up dudes.
Oh, sorry. I shouldn't blame you.
It's okay. More drugs?
Yes, please.
The list of people Rick trusts isn't long, and it doesn't make much sense either. It could be a battle-hardened warrior like Bird Person, a wildcat like Squanchy, or even a junky bug like Cisco. Rick places his trust not because they're perfect, but because they're the clearest proof that Rick Sanchez, the guy who claims to be emotionally detached from the entire universe, still knows how to believe in people.